Hi, my name is Richard Duquette, and I was the drummer for the Apollo 4, which earlier was known as Chuck and the Chippers. And it was great to be in that band. That's all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Allan Robillard, and I was proud to be a member of the band, the Apollo 4, better known as Chuck and the Chippers, and I played with Richard in the band.
I wanted to ask both of you, my name is Tina and Duquette, and I'm the daughter of the late Charles Duquette, and I am the niece of these phenomenal gentlemen that you see before you. And I'm having a visit with both of them, and I wanted to be able to put a face in live stream of who the remaining members of the incredible Chuck and the Chippers band, later known as Apollo 4 band, are. Now, I'm going to turn over here to Uncle Allan and ask him about what he wrote, because the story is based on the memoir he took time to write and leave this legacy. So, Uncle Allan, what made you decide to write this?
Well, I don't know, I think maybe before I started the story, you dropped in and dropped off a note saying that you wanted to do an Apollo 4 project.
Yes.
And I went, okay. So I sat down and I thought, maybe I'll write a story about the Apollo 4. And I didn't do it in one day. It took me maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe it might have been a month.
Oh,
But I did a little bit every day until I really got comfortable. And then once I got started on it, I couldn't stop. And that's my story.
And that's your story. And
That's my story.
And you know, I have to tell you that without this story that you took so much incredible time to write, we would have never been able to do this project the way it is turning out. And you have so many fans out here waiting to enjoy the music once again of the Chuck and the Chippers and the Apollo 4. And now they're going to have the backstory of a founding member. So I want to thank you for that, Uncle Allan, truly and truly. Now, the both of you sitting here, we're having a nice visit. I wanted to ask you, what did you feel like when you would get on stage before doing a gig? What was the feeling that you had?
The feeling I had when I was on stage was I was quite nervous when I first get up on stage. But about maybe a half hour into playing, you got more relaxed, then you could really get in with the crowd. And that when you seen the crowd really moving, then you felt good. That's how I felt about every time we played anyways. It was
so
like,
even if you played after years together,
Yeah.
you would still get nervous
I still get nervous.
for each gig.
It's funny, but this is the way I felt until I got when the band started really getting into it and you see the crowd move, then okay, you can really let loose. Then that's really made you feel good. But yeah, all the years, no matter how many times we played, I was always nervous at the start.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Uncle Allan, for you, you were the MC.
Yeah,
So
well,
you had to always start things off, right?
You think Richard was nervous? I was more nervous. You got to remember the instrumental Telstar. I always used to start off the night with that song. Most nights was starting with Telstar, and I was so nervous about screwing it up. But I never really did. But
Nope, you
the
didn't.
most nervous I ever was our 25th reunion. Just before we started, because I knew I was going to play that dreadful song again, and I didn't want to screw it up.
And
I
you
was
did it.
nervous. I think pretty well every night we played until we got that first number over. Then we were fine.
Yeah.
Then you were just right into it and
Yeah.
then enjoy it. And your brotherhood, I mean, you were together since you were boys, little boys. living in the same area on Scott Street. And what do you think makes the fact that you stayed friends, incredibly close friends, for all of these years, and with your wives as well, as supporters of your journey with this band? Like, do you think it was just because of the music in the band that created that brotherhood that kept you?
No.
No?
Way back when we were growing up on this street, there was like, everybody just was next door. And there was no computer stuff like there is today and stuff, you know. We just went outside and we played. These guys want to do this, these guys want to do that, and all through growing up. And in fact, down here, it was not like you see this park the way it is now. It was just bush. And we'd get together, we'd build shacks down there. We had our own little beach made down there. Like, well, we did all kinds of stuff like that. And then, like I say, with Chuck, Allan, Rainey, some days, okay, let's go up the bridges. And we spent more time up the bridges that you wouldn't believe. And that was like that. Oh.
And even later, didn't you walk up the bridges?
Yes.
As like...
I was way growing up after the band was done. We
still did.
Went up the bridges. Just see how it was. Yep.
And so Uncle Allan, like for you, when you mentioned in your memoir about really practicing and wanting to find your place in the band, well, personally, I think you found your place and then some, because you were the head person of the musicianship, and it would start with you talking to the crowd. So what were some of the most memorable moments for you when you would be up there talking to the crowd? What would you like to do the best? Would it be like
I don't know.
joking? That's a hard question, eh?
It's a hard question.
What about you talk about this caveman song? So
Well, that was more of a.
Yeah.
I think about it now. It really was silly, but it was a lot of fun to do. It
Yeah.
was. I always wanted to be kind of like a comedian,
Yeah.
yes,
stand-up comedian, and that was one way of
Yeah.
doing it.
doing it.
And it was just a fun thing to do.
Well, I
Just
think
to add that little kick in the band, eh?
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. And I want to say to you that it really stands out, and I can't wait for people to see the 25th anniversary concert dance that you
Yeah, I'd like to see Chuck's reaction too, because he didn't know I was going to do what I did.
What was it that you did? Oh, no, he would, I wish that both, can you imagine if Chuck Duquette, so my dad, and Uncle Rainey would be here today also enjoying this memoir that you wrote and going down history lane, memory lane.
Yep.
And it's pretty special. And I want to thank you again, Uncle Allan and Uncle Richard. You gave the kids, myself, the wives, family members, such incredible childhood memories. It was part of our DNA to just be at parties all together, at band rehearsals all together. The thing is that it wasn't, it's funny because you took it for granted when you were kids. It was like, oh, well, that's Uncle Richard, that's Uncle Allan, that's Uncle Rainey, that's Daddy. They're in a band and they're practicing, they're rehearsing, but you didn't think more of it because it was just a part of our daily lives. But now as we are living through having lost a couple of the members of the band, and as we got older, we realized just what legends, true legends you were, you are,
friendship.
And the true friendship that is an actual brotherhood. So, Uncle Richard?
I'd like to add something.
Yes, go.
We have the four of us, really, we had incredible wives to put up with the stuff that we did. You know, like they're home with the kids. They were all, almost like we're partying, and they're home with the kids, and there was never nothing bad said about it. They encourage us. Put it that way. We had good women, good wives.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really nice to say. And for Uncle Allan and for Uncle Richard, I know that they both really are happy to invite you all to listen to this documentary that was made with the incredible story told by Uncle Allan, and then to watch our 25th anniversary.
I really want to thank Tina Duquette for putting this thing together. Without her,
Yes.
the story might not have been told.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Tina.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
Thank
was
you, sweetheart.
my honor. Oh,
Yep.
it was my honor. Now you're going to get me all emotional.
Ah.
So, on that note, we invite you to watch the rest of this project.